Hey family, this is D. Orlando Fortune. I want to welcome you to another inspirational talk. And today I want to talk about going on and accomplishing things you never accomplished before. About moving into uncharted territories. Because I see sometimes we come against these situations where it's like, all right, no one has done this before in my life. No one I know in my family has ever gone this way. What am I going to do about it? I want better things for my life. So today we're going to explore what it's going to take in order for you to survive on this journey into uncharted territories. So I was going to a convention not too long ago. The convention was going to be in Louisville, Kentucky. So as I get into my car, I type in the coordinates for the stadium that I'm going to go to watch this event. I type these coordinates in. It gives me a little time and the distance that it's going to take to get there. And then I push a little button on my screen that starts the whole process of guiding me there. GPS, of course, right? So I'm traveling on down to Louisville, Kentucky, and again, I've traveled this this route several times. I just didn't know where this location was. And as I'm going to cross over into Louisville, Kentucky, I noticed there's a sign up that says Lewis and Clark. Now, I don't know much about the Lewis and Clark expedition. This is years ago. I studied it back in history class. But I want to just kind of recap on what it was, because I thought it really started in St. Louis, Missouri. So being in Louisville, Kentucky kind of got my mind going about what this was all about. So I did some research about Lewis and Clark expedition. I want to kind of talk to you about this expedition. Now, the expedition started in 1804. 1804 to 1806, so it's a 3-year expedition. Now, the thing about it is, Louisville, Kentucky is where the actual Corps de Discovery met in Louisville, Kentucky, even though it didn't start until St. Louis, Missouri. But along this course, there's 33 men that went on this course, on this path to explore the Louisville Purchase. The Louisville Purchase was basically half of the United States that we know right now. And we had purchased for $15 million. Half of America was purchased for $15 million from Napoleon. Now, if you think about that, that's one great deal. $15 million, man. Think about that. But anyway, so what happened was Jefferson wanted to figure out what was actually on the other side of the Mississippi River. What was on that land over there? They had no clue. They even thought woolly mammoths were still going to be out there. They had no clue what was going to be on. So he put together this crew, including Lewis, who was his secretary for the presidency. He was the secretary to the president. Lewis instituted a man named Clark to help him go on this expedition. Clark brought along his manservant named York. And they put together a group of men, about 33 again, all in total, to go on this expedition. Now, along this path, a journey across from the Mississippi River, St. Louis, all the way to the West Coast, they did not know what was going on with them at this situation, but they said they got a plan together and said they were going to explore this land and make it there and back. And along the way, they were going to take notes. So here's what I want to do. There's three pieces I want you to remember from as we go along with this story, talking a little more about it. The three things are this. First, have a plan and take notes. You see, when you start going on this journey that you're going into uncharted territories for yourself, in this moment in your business or in your life that you're wanting to become something different, it's possible that you don't know everything that's going to happen. And more than likely, you don't know everything that's going to happen. But if you have a plan for yourself and then have notes along the way, not only can you pass on those notes to the next person who has in your family or in your business or whoever comes along to see those notes and say, you know what, this is how I can become successful. You see, the only reason why we're able to go back and review what happened to Lewis and Clark expedition is because they took detailed notes in the journal about this exploration. So I want you to do the same thing. Take detailed notes. Have a plan and take detailed notes. The second thing you want to point out is that this uncharted territory could bring unparalleled gains. You see, if we're stepping outside of our comfort zone, that's one thing. But when we start looking at going down a path that no one else has gone down before, that's a completely different thing. That's way outside of our comfort zone. And remember this, uncharted territory might not mean like some new age technology that no one's ever created. It could just mean this: being the first one to go to college in your family, being the first one to become an entrepreneur in your family, being the first person to get out of the hood, to make something different out of yourself, being the first person to make it out of addictions and change your life around. See, these is uncharted territories for those who've been brought up in these conditions. You can survive that path and understand that once you go onto these different territories, expand the path for the future legacies and for yourself, the gains that could come from this. Because not only did we double the size of the United States, but there was exponential amount of wealth that was gained by going into this uncharted territory of the Wild West. But we had to go do it. We had to go out here and see what was available to us so we could go out there and start cultivating this land and start building up the infrastructure of how to develop our expanding country of young America. The third thing I want you to remember is this. Again, we're talking about have a plan and take notes on the plan. Understanding that uncharted territory can bring you unparalleled wealth, unparalleled gains. The third thing that I want you to understand is that unexpected help will come from all types of areas. You see, when we start going out on these journeys that God has put out there for us, and we've taken the steps, we've taken the courage, we've stepped out on faith that we can go do what God asks us to do, that His will is being done in our lives, that you have to also believe that things are going to happen for us and to us that we're not expecting to happen, but yet they're all going to help us push us forward towards our goals. You see, there's people that are going to come into your life that you're not expecting to come into your life. No one knew that Sacagawea was going to help them, guide them through all the different Indian tribes that they were going to encounter as Lewis and Clark expedition traveled across the Great Plains. They didn't know that some of the Indians the tribe that they run into was going to provide them with the horses, and which is the nourishment and some of the nourishment they would need, much needed nourishment they need in order to continue on this path. They didn't know that York was going to be the manservant slave that was going to be such a valued asset to this company because of his hunting skills. They never knew that. But God provides these opportunities, brings people into your lives to help you along your path so that you may succeed. But you have to continue moving forward onto this uncharted territories. And what we find out from the expedition is that when Lewis and Clark come back from the expedition, not only are they awarded some monies and some land for what they've done, but yet they also made governors over their own territories. And when this is the 8,000-mile trip that took 3 years to complete. 33 people left. 32 returned. Only one death. And that death happened just out of natural causes. But there was one little casualty where Lewis actually got shot in the butt, but that's beside the point. He still survived, right? But 33 people left, 32 returned. They brought back hundreds of species of plants and animals and insects that they'd never heard of before. They charted a path that would help them to explore and further cultivate the land and build more towns as time grew on because they had made this expedition. But here's the thing about this. Two contrasting points, two warning I want to give you about this, is that Lewis was an alcoholic. And even though he was very successful in this path, he still lost his life. He gave his life in the end to addiction, to alcoholism. You see, just because you are going through some things in your life, I don't want you to stay on that journey. This exploration out here into life, into the physical world, must also have an exploration into your own internal self. You must start changing some things in yourself. Because even though he went on there and he was able to be distracted by this journey for 3 years, when he returned back to society, he still killed himself over his depressing moods and alcoholism. I don't want that to happen for you. Continue on your journey to build and create yourself. Now, if you understand these points, I want to come back around to this last piece here. I was going into Louisville, Kentucky, and I saw this sign for Lewis and Clark. And I looked down onto my map. I was going across this bridge. And the thing about it is, on this bridge, I could see the bridge to the right of me. I could see the bridge to the left of me on this map. But the bridge that I was on wasn't on the map. I was like floating in the water, according to Google at this time. I was floating in the water, but yet I was still going there, right? What I want to mean by this is that sometimes the path that you're going on is not traveled by very many, and that the path is being laid out by you and a select few people who are decided to take a different path to become something better. You are setting the standard for the next generation when you start going to become something better, to improve yourself, to become a better leader. I wish that upon you. I wish that struggle upon you for you to become the person that you need to become. In order to do the things God has planned out for you and to achieve the things that you want for yourself. It's a beautiful mission I wish for you to take, and keep coming along with me. And with that being said, I'm going to end this as I always end it. You know, I understand this. Understand this, people. I love you so much. I really wish you'd get this into your head, that you can do anything that you want to do in this world and have what you want to have. Because God wants you to have it. You just got to believe. Because you can live a life of no doubt, just blessings. And I'll show you how here. I'll see you next week. Love you.